Have you ever stopped to think about how living things grow? How a tiny little seed becomes a giant tree, or even crazier, how a single microscopic cell becomes, well, you. It all boils down to this incredibly elegant, non-stop process. So let's dive into the microscopic instruction manual that shows how life literally builds itself.
Now really, think about it for a second. How did you get here? What was the absolute starting point for the amazing, complex person you are right now? The answer is both unbelievably simple and just mind-blowing.
That's it. Every single one of us, every animal, every plant you've ever seen, we all started out as just one single cell. Everything you are was built from that one starting block. So the real question is, how do you get from 1 to, well, trillions?
40 trillion. That's the best guess for how many cells are in the average adult human body. That's a 40 with 12. Count them, 12 zeros after it. Going from one cell to 40 trillion is one of the most incredible things happening in the universe. Which brings up a pretty good question. If the whole point is for an organism to get bigger, why don't our cells just get bigger? Why bother making trillions of tiny little new ones? Why not just have a few absolutely enormous cells instead?
I mean, it seems like it would be way simpler, right? But it turns out, for a cell, getting too big is a huge problem. There's a point where its size actually starts working against it.
See, as a cell gets bigger, it runs into two major roadblocks. First, there's what we can call an information crisis. It's like its central library can't handle the workload. And second, you get traffic jams. It just gets harder and harder to move things in and out.
Okay, to really get this, let's imagine a cell is like a small town. When it's tiny, everything runs super smoothly. The town library has all the books everyone needs, and the roads are clear for groceries to come in and garbage to go out. Easy.
But here's where things go wrong. As the town expands, that one library, which is like the cell's DNA, gets totally overwhelmed. It just can't keep up with all the new demands. That's your information crisis. At the same time, the roads, the cell's membrane, become a parking lot. Nutrients can't get in, waste starts piling up. Total gridlock. That's the traffic jam.
And there's some simple math that explains this traffic problem perfectly. As a cell gets bigger, its volume, all the stuff inside, grows way faster than its surface area, the membrane on the outside. Just look at this table. See how that ratio of surface area to volume just plummets? A tiny cell has a great 6-to-1 ratio, plenty of road for its size. But as it gets bigger, that ratio tanks, and the cell chokes on its own inefficiency.
So, if just getting bigger and bigger is a no-go, what's the answer? Well, nature came up with a brilliant solution. Instead of growing larger, the cell just divides. It's a classic strategy of divide and conquer.
And cell division is pretty much what it sounds like. Right before a parent cell gets too big and clunky, it splits into two new, smaller daughter cells. And here's the genius part. Each daughter cell gets a perfect copy of the parent's DNA. So information crisis? Solved!
And this is huge. It also solves the traffic problem. Two small cells have way more combined surface area, more roadway, than one big cell of the same total volume. This makes them super efficient again. So yeah, division is the key. It keeps cells small, nimble, and ready for business.
But this splitting isn't some random event. Oh no, it's a super organized, tightly controlled process. It's a whole series of events that a cell goes through as it grows and divides. We call it the cell cycle. So what does this instruction manual look like? Well, the cell cycle is basically broken into two main parts. You've got this long period of growth and getting ready, called interphase, and then the much shorter, action-packed period of actual division, called the M-phase. Now, interphase is where a cell spends most of its life. It's split into 3 stages. First up is G1, where the cell is just doing its normal job, being a skin cell or whatever, and growing. Then comes the really critical S phase. S stands for synthesis, and this is where the cell copies its entire set of DNA. And finally, you have G2, where it grows a little more and makes all the parts it needs to divide.
Okay, after all that prep work, it's time for the main event, the M phase. This kicks off with mitosis, which is this beautifully choreographed dance where the cell's nucleus divides. In prophase, the DNA scrunches up. In metaphase, it all lines up in the middle. In anaphase, the copies get pulled apart. And in telophase, 2 new nuclei form. Then, once the DNA is sorted, the final step, cytokinesis, splits the rest of the cell, and bam, 2 brand new identical daughter cells.
All right, so that's the super detailed process happening on a scale we can't even see. But so what? Why does this constant cycle of division actually matter to us? Well, it turns out it's the reason the world looks the way it does.
First and foremost, it's for growth. It's that simple. Every single time an organism gets bigger, whether it's these little eaglets growing into huge eagles or a baby growing up, it's because of trillions and trillions of cell divisions adding more and more mass.
And this whole process doesn't just stop once you're an adult. Nope, it's also our body's master repair crew. It's how some animals can do incredible things, like a lizard growing a whole new tail. And it's happening in you, right this second, healing that paper cut or replacing the lining of your stomach. It's just constant maintenance.
So this cycle keeps us going, but it's also how we make the next generation. Cell division is the engine of reproduction. It's what allows life itself to continue.
And generally speaking, life uses cell division for two big reproductive strategies. You've got asexual reproduction, where a single parent just makes a genetically identical copy of itself, and then you have sexual reproduction, where two parents mix their genetic info to create a totally unique offspring.
And each of these strategies has its trade-offs. Asexual reproduction is super fast and efficient, which is awesome if the environment is stable and unchanging, but you get zero genetic diversity. Sexual reproduction is slower, it takes more energy, but that genetic variety it creates, that's a massive advantage when things get tough, because it helps a species adapt.
So let's bring it all the way back. This one process, the cell cycle, is the answer. It's how you became you. It's why you can grow, why you heal, and it's the reason life goes on. It's this silent, microscopic ballet happening inside of us, all the time.
You know, the cell cycle is a masterpiece of control, with all these internal checkpoints making sure everything goes perfectly. But what happens when that control fails? What happens when a cell just blows past the stop signs and starts dividing over and over and over again? Well, that question, that gets to the heart of some of biology's greatest challenges. And it all begins with one tiny mistake in this incredible cycle of life.
For more content like this, subscribe to Paperful.